tell you some, no, let me leave the prizes. All right? Are we ready? Okay. Good. So, go to www.menti.com and use the code 11801452, and then you log in. All right? When you log in, we will see your answers to the questions here. So, if you have your phones, just quickly log in. Go to www.menti.com, use the code 11801452. Who's done that? www.menti.com, Menti, MENTI.com, and use the code 11801452. Could this also be a test of your internet speed? As you are logging in, we'll know whether, let me not call the internet providers. Okay, please. Okay, so they say log in with your names, not just emojis, because your prize is dependent. We cannot offer the prize to Santa Claus or the donut or the lion. So please use your names when you log in. How many of you are in? Okay. Are we good? If you are still logging in, please let us know. Okay. There are a lot of users here. I will not call the network. But by your network, I know why you are still logging in. Okay? How many of you are still logging in? I'm still seeing the hand. Wow. Okay. All right. Are we good? Are we ready? All right. So, can we have the questions? Do we have the, okay. 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Are you sharing exam sheets also? Will they be writing essays? All right, are we good? Okay. So, answer fast to get more points. Boom. Question number 1. In what year did we have the first winner of the Nigeria Prize for Literature? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Boom. Wow. Okay. On to the next question. 9 people have the correct answer. 19 people failed. Thank God this is not jump. Okay. Aha. For those of you, that is your EPL table. Sorry, no, that's your Menti table. Are you in the relegation zone? Are you winning the league? All right. So we have 9. Pierre G. Don't worry. At the time of Akelachi, see where you are. Oh my God. Damn it. Oh. I'm seeing a wolf with the name Ode. All right. I will not say anything. Please, let's go to question number 2. Question number 2 of 4. Once again, answer fast. Who was the 2019 winner for the Nigeria Prize for Literature? 13, 12. Dr. Ahmed Yerima Soji Cole, Jude Idada, Dr. Gabriel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Wow. 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 For that one person that picked Dr. Gabriel, I sympathize with you. I really sympathize with you. You really are alone on that. Okay. So, Pierre G. He say, please, are you sure that you did not sneak in something on your hand to check answers? The wolf is totally gone. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. It's all right. Pierre G, you are still... Ampi, you are just behind. You can do it. Can we have question number 3? Are we ready? Okay. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Since the inception of the Nigeria Prize for Literature, how many times have the judges and advisory board not announced a winner? This one's feeling like further maths, dy dx over, 3, 2, 1. Wow. Akelachi is climbing up the table. The wolf has totally given up on this competition. I can't find the wolf anymore. Pieraji. Akelachi. I'm sorry, I must have upset you by calling your name because you are vexed to the top. We have one more question. Chief. Please hold on. It's like somebody is running something behind the scenes. NLNG people on this cupboard, please just know that even if you win, there's no prize for you. So even if you win, you have lost. Question 4. I can now see why some people dropped out of the race. They must have gotten that information. Dash is the previous winner for the Nigeria Prize of Literary Criticism. Dr. Ahmed Yerima, Professor Isidore Diala, Iwo Aprioko, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. 3, 2, 1. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? It's a tight one. Ladies and gentlemen, except we have, an Urubebe issue soon or later, it looks like Akelachi has come from the bottom to the top, like Arsenal, to win. Akelachi, where are you? Please rise up now. Let us clap for you. You started from the bottom, now you're here. Please, where are our gifts? Is there any runner-up? Is this just one prize? It's just one prize. That's life. You see? It's a motivational moment right here. You came from the bottom to the top and you won it all. A round of applause for Akelachi. Please. I need to hype what she's getting because I'm seeing a lot of packs. Okay. Oh, the first 3. You changed it, eh? All right. Perry G. Your answers were not in vain. You tried, though you were at the top. So, round 1, we have the first winner, Akelachi. And then we have Perry G. And we have Gabriel as the third runner. Please. I would love to see Perry G. I know that, Chief, I've seen the glasses. I knew you were smart once I saw the answers. What of Gabriel? Gee. You were sharing work on that table. Okay. So, please, at this point, I'd like to call the General Manager, External Relations and Sustainable Development, Mr. Andy O'Day, to come present. I was about to say present the gifts, and I remember that there was a wolf with the name O'Day. Could it be that was the same? GM, sir. Welcome, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the wolf.
Gabriel collecting his prize. A round of applause for Gabriel. Do I feel him and Kelechi were sharing their work together on that table? But, we do not encourage exam malpractice. A round of applause for Pierre G. There's round 2, I believe. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. All right, thank you. Are they allowed to still compete in round 2? They are not? Aha, I just want people to know, I suspected it. We don't give things freely like that. You cannot just come and win the first round and come again second round. So you have been informed. Okay? All right, at this point, we'll be having some of the, okay, we actually have one of the poets present, and we'll be moving to another segment, and I'll be handing over to the moderator for today. She is a literary enthusiast with special interest in African literature, particularly young African literary writers. She's a multilingual multimedia journalist who has worked with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and is currently working with the BBC. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Karina Igonikon for the next segment. A round of applause for her, please, as she comes up on stage. A round of applause for her. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. The chairs. There was a disappearing act. Okay, please, can we have, please, madam, just hold on. Let's have them reset the stage briefly. Okay? All right, thank you. Wonderful gentlemen. Please, a round of applause for this wonderful man that set up this stage. You know, without these great people, events don't hold. It's easy to just hold mic and talk. But the people that carry the heavy objects, they are the real legends, believe me. Believe me. Thank you. Now, after this segment, we'll have a dance drama by Active Playhouse. So please just get ready for that. Thank you. Please let's welcome Karina Igonikon once again to the stage. Thank you very much, madam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this segment of the program. So I'll start off with an introduction of the shortlisted writers. So I think there is a video for them. So we have 3 persons shortlisted this year. We have Sadiq Dujuki, I hope I'm pronouncing his surname well, Zukogi. Sadiq Zukogi, he is the author of Your Crib, My Quibbler. We also have Romeo Oriogun, he authored Nomad. And we have, last but not least, we have Memory and The Call of Waters, and that is authored by Shuedi Vashima Agima. I think there's a video on these ones. Let's have that video play up now. Let's give them a second or two.
Olusegun Romeo Oriogun is a Nigerian poet and essayist. He is the author of Sacrament of Bodies. Olusegun Romeo Oriogun is a Nigerian poet and essayist. He is the author of Sacrament of Bodies, University of Nebraska, and 3 chapbooks. He is the winner of the 2017 Brunel International African Poetry Prize, a 2020 finalist for the Lambda Prize for Poetry and for the Future Awards African Prize for Literature. He has received fellowships and support from Abeti International Writers Residency, Harvard University, Hutchins Center for African and African American Research, Oregon Institute for Creative Research, and the IIE Artist Protection Fund. His poems have appeared in Poetry, Harvard Review, American Poetry Review, Poetry London, The Poetry Review, Narrative Magazine, The Common, and others. A graduate of the Iowa Writers' Workshop, his poems have been translated into several languages. The Rainbow Book Club and Nigeria LNG welcome Olusegun Oriegun to Port Harcourt for the reception of the writers on the shortlist for the Nigeria Prize for Literature. Sadiq Sukogi was born in Minna, Nigeria, and holds a degree in Mass Communications from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria. He is pursuing a PhD in English at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. A 2017 finalist of the Brunel International African Poetry Prize, he is the author of Inside the Flower Room, selected by Kwame Dawes and Chris Abani for the New Generation African Poets Chapbook series. Sukogi's poems have appeared in the Kenyan Review, Prairie Schooner, Gulf Coast, World Literature Today, New Orleans Review, Oxford Poetry, African American Review, Best American Experimental Writing, and elsewhere. The Rainbow Book Club and Nigeria LNG welcome Sadiq Zukogi to Port Harcourt for the reception of the writers on the shortlist for the Nigeria Prize for Literature. Suwedi Veshima Agema is a Nigerian poet, editor, and literary administrator. He is also a culture promoter and author of the poetry collections Bring Our Casket Home, Tales One Shouldn't Tell, and Home Equals Holes, Tale of an Exile, and a short story collection, The Bottom of Another Tale. He is the past chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Benue State, as well as council member, National Teen Authorship Scheme. He says, I was exposed to literature at an early age by a father who kept the tradition of the Moonlight Tales, complete with acting roles, local lore, and cultural songs. There was also a mother who bought the best of African literary titles, from Chinua Achebe to every famous writer of Heinemann fame. The Rainbow Book Club and Nigeria LNG welcome Suwedi Agema to Port Harcourt for the reception of the writers on the shortlist for the Nigeria Prize for Literature.
Together as he joins me on stage. Keep clapping until he gets here. You're welcome. And then joining us virtually, we have Romeo Oriegun and Sadiq Zukogi. They'll be joining us online. I don't know if we could get a preview of them, if they have joined us already. Hello, Romeo.
Hi, good morning.
It's good to have you. And is Sadiq also with us? Hello, Sadiq. Now we are all here. Let's get started. I'll start with you, Suwedi. I hope I got that correctly. Okay. Now let's get to know you and your journey with poetry.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to be in Port Harcourt. I started writing poetry at an early age, or I started writing scribbles of what I thought was poetry, very bad stuff. But I had teachers and friends who were really kind to tell me that, oh, you're doing the right thing. But it was when I got to university, my first degree was in English. That was when I got to realize that, oh, these guys have been scamming you. Because when I started reading real poetry, I was mind blown. But unfortunately, at that level, I had very beautiful teachers like Professor Tsenongo, Dr. Jima, who were teaching me what they knew of poetry. But the sad thing with Nigerian university system many times is it's almost like rote. They try to recreate you in their mold. Shortly after that period, I met a friend of mine, Professor Hyginus Ekwazi, who was longlisted a couple of years back, and I read his poetry, and I got to realize that, even this bigger poetry that I thought was better poetry is not really what I thought it was. So I had that revolution. So by 2012, I published my first poetry collection, and the journey has kept on going on. Every single day you wake up, you find out that what you thought you knew is not even the thing yet. So it's just an evolving journey that keeps on going. And I should mention here that my journey has been blessed because I've had lots of friends who I've grown with. We started writing together. We've been on several lists. And believe it or not, Romeo and Sadiq are people who are like my brothers, who are my brothers. So it's really a privilege to be with them on this short list.
I don't know if I can say poetry is my mistress if I'm chasing after poetry. I think for me, I started writing about 6 years ago. Six, maybe seven, eight now. It's been a long time. I'm getting old. um, and I think at that time, poetry was just a means of naming certain things that I was going through.
Okay, Sadiq, did you go after poetry or did poetry pursue you? Hello, Sadiq, are you still there? Okay, I guess we are having a connection issue with Sadiq, but we'll still get back to him. Vashima, is it okay if I call you Vashima? I think I like Vashima.
Veshima.
Veshima, okay. I have a friend, her name is Doshima. Aha, so Veshima. Okay. So let's get into memory and the call of waters. I read Let There Be Light. And I can relate to that story, to that poem, because the last line is something that actually happened in my house. Genesis 1:3, and God said, "Let there be light." And Nepa said, "Mbanu." Please tell us about that poem.
Uh, the thing is, everything is tied to light and electricity, so to say. And it's just really interesting that it's when you really want to do something, when you have that project, that's when NEPA will just say, you think you do this one, Abby? Today you go hear word. So it's just a reflection on how, one, we have these light challenges, and it stands for the broader issues that we have in the country. How we have all our challenges, and the best thing we do most times is we only talk about our problems. So we keep on brewing teacup storms, so to say, rather than going to challenge this problem head on. So the whole poem is just looking at how this happens and calling us to rethink our stance and perhaps be more proactive in finding solutions to our various challenges in society.
And I see most of your poems also speak to realities around you. Or are you getting inspirations from those realities now? Because when we read through them, when I read through them, I see myself relating to a lot of those issues there.
So basically, the book is a personal and communal perspective on things happening. I did not set out to write about societal issues, but it's hard to talk about your story. It's hard to write poems about things happening in the country that would somehow not touch on some of these things. I was talking to someone a few days back, and I said, if you want to write about taking a walk from your house to the junction, you're going to talk about the potholes, you're going to talk about maybe the insecurity, you're going to talk about how one Olokba nearly slapped you. So by the time you tell this story or write it as a poem, somebody will be like, this guy was just trying to show what is happening. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a communal story, and hopefully something that people in other areas would easily relate to.
Okay, can we get Sadiq back online? Hello, Sadiq, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we wanted to find out if you pursued poetry or poetry pursued you. Which one?
Well, I'd love to think that poetry came to me when I was much younger. I don't know if we've been chasing after each other because we've been living together for a very long time. We're just existing in this space, and the insight that I have from life is enhanced from the insight that poetry affords me. Um, so I am an accidental poet. I wasn't supposed to be a poet. I was supposed to be a fiction writer, but I'm thankful that we found each other, and I make a better sense of my world now with all the point of views that I have about life that is, due to all of the journey that I have been undertaking. I just want to halt here and also just tell you how excited I am to be part of this group. Romeo, somebody that I talk to every day. Suede, not every day, but like it's always in my heart. And I am so jealous, of all of you who are in that space right now because myself and Romeo are far away from home.
Yeah, but technology has brought you close to us.
Yeah, but like we all can't have the food, right? Like that you're having. We can't breathe the Nigerian air that you're breathing, right? And like sometimes we forget how difficult it is to be far away from home, but like we're happy to be part of this and to be celebrated, even though like it's half of us that is there.
Yes, your book, Your Crib, My Quibla. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Almost. It's Kibla.
Okay, Kibla. Now, you talk about a subject a lot of people shy away from, grief. Tell us about, what motivated, the poems in this book.
Well, for starters, in 2017, I was working in Kaduna. My family was in Minna, and unfortunately, we lost our child. And at that particular time, when I received a call from my auntie, I had a pen and a paper on the desk. It's all organic. I resolved to poetry to find understanding of not just my environment, but also myself and some of the things that I'm going through. And so immediately when I heard the news, I wrote down Their Sweet, Sweet Child. And ever since, every single day for the next 7 months, I had this ritual that took just 10 minutes just to try to quiet all the noise around me, to have an ethereal relationship with the child that we lost, to kind of, continue her existence, even if it's just in the white pages of my notebook. And it was just a father who was lamenting grief, who was regretting having not had enough time with his child. After a while, shared some of the pieces with a friend, and they thought maybe this is a way to immortalize this child that you have lost. And that's just how it began. It wasn't like me trying to write poems. I just wanted to understand what my body was going through, and also to understand grief. We come from a culture where men are not supposed to show their emotion.
Exactly.
And I'm very emotional. I'm like a crybaby. And so the page allowed me that intimacy and space to engage with myself and my feelings.
Okay, did it help you, cope with the loss of the child, or it just gave you an avenue to express yourself?
Yeah, I just wanted to scream. I wanted to punch things, and it was a lot of emotions. I was, pushed into dark rooms sometimes, but the writing of the poem itself, was like a flicker of light. It was something that anchored me to the real world and tried to pull me back each time that there's the temptation to disappear into the void. Um, so like I've been asked whether it helps healing. I just say it makes it better for me to carry this wound, a little bit with grace, and also to just perpetuate the light that is my daughter in my heart in the world, and hope that like the things that I've gone through and the way that I have recorded, documented the story, would serve as a light, for others to also, like engage with their emotions, even if they're men, to not shy away from crying, to not shy away from screaming, to not shy away from showing their emotion, to not shy away from being vulnerable.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sadiq. Now I'll go to Romeo, and you talk about travels in your book, Nomads. Hello, Romeo. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, so tell us, especially in this season where a lot of Nigerians want to japa. So, did you write from your own experience or from the experience of those that have jackpot? Or what exactly, inspired Nomad?
I think my book is not really about the jackpot experience, so to speak. I've always, even while in Nigeria, I've always been someone who never really understood what home is as a concept. And so when I left Nigeria the first time in 2017, and then traveling along the border from Nigeria to Benin Republic, and then went on to do a trip around West Africa, what I was trying to document and put in my poems was that experience of living was also a reckoning with history. I'm someone who really like studying the past because for me, like a lot of other people in Nigeria, I don't really have any indigenous language I can speak very fluently. And so I'm always trying to interrogate what home, in terms of language, in terms of events, in terms of even the country as a space means to me as a person. And so while traveling across West Africa, what I was also saying was that in certain spaces there was also that contention between history and the present, between language and what it means to fall out of language itself. In Lome, for example, I met a Black American who was by the seaside and he was just crying. You know, he came back to rediscover himself. And I'm really interested in those kind of interactions, that those like rupturing that leads to a new way of being. And so everything about the book was seen from that angle. Of course, there are spaces in which, as the book progresses, moving away from Nigeria or West Africa per se, and traveling to the US for school and fellowships, it also became a means of interrogating, loneliness itself. Because I think most times I think most times that's the glamour of living home. There's also the other side, the dark side of it, which is often a kind of like floundering, and it was something I really was trying to do. But
Okay, we also see a little bit of history there. We see a reference to the Aba Women's Riot. We see, something about King Jaja of Opobo. Are you also bringing in that aspect of Nigerian history in your writing in this book? Romeo?
yeah, I think like especially with the About Women riots, most times when it's being told, right, it's being told from the perspective of, oh, there are these women who were protesting for taxes. And for me, I'm someone who really spends a lot of time in the archive. I'm really looking at documents and really looking at history as documents that are also very, very important to the present day. And so when you look, for example, the history of feminism in Nigeria or the contemporary resurgence of feminism in Nigeria, especially in our online spaces, you'd also see that a lot of what the About Women were doing, or what became the About Women riot, because there were women from other spaces that were not even living in About, were going from the Niger Delta, for example, were part of that movement. So when you start seeing what those people were doing, those women were doing, you could also see how, for example, it's very relevant to our today's society in terms of whether it's protest, whether it's reclaiming spaces that have been taken from people, and whether the way in which we as young people who are maybe in our 30s, 20s, really don't even know about our history that much to like interpret current situations. And so we have a lot of misinformation. So I was trying to look at that. I think with Jaja Kokobo, I was trying also to look at how a lot of movements are really not new. For example, the Japa phenomenon, for example, it's really nothing new at all. You look at Oba Burame from Benin, who was taken to Calabar and as a form of exile. There's also the Jaja Kokobo movement also, and he died in Tenerife, coming back to Nigeria. And I was trying to juxtapose that with the current movement that we're seeing right now, and how families also are being broken up, and so people die over here. People become something else over here. And people, it's that slippage that occurs when people talk about identity, and I was trying to look at that.
Okay, let's talk about, publishing in Africa. Vashima or Vershima. Did I get that? Uh-huh. Now, publishing is already a Herculean task for a lot of people. But then there's publishing novels, books, and there's publishing poetry. How has it been?
How has which one been, or how has
Yeah,
everything
yes,
been?
publishing your poetry.
Well, generally, poetry doesn't really, the saying used to be that poetry doesn't sell. And so most times people shy away from publishing poetry because they generally, what writers want to do is to publish a work. What publishers want to do is to publish works that can sell, because publishing is a business. So most of the people who publish their poetry are people who have a strong connection with poetry. But I've discovered that the trend is changing because poetry is becoming more marketable. Also because poets are beginning to realize that they don't need to be in that stiff box. They don't need to be like Okigbo, who said poetry should be for poets alone. They are learning that, okay, you can be like Shoinka, who would write difficult stuff, and then also write things like Abiku or telephone conversation. So at first, publishing poetry, printing it, had been very challenging, very daunting, but there are new actors on the stage, including, I'm happy to say, my good friend here, Umar Sidi, who are putting in their resources to bring more publicity to poetry, because it also has to do with publicity. It's also about letting people realize that this thing is not as hard as you think it is. Because there are several people who think of poetry like how people in the arts will think of mathematics, where they go like, this thing is something I can't do at all. Indeed. So there's this new collective that was created, Konya Shamtrumi, by Umar Sidi, Richard Ali. What they are doing, and what several other people are doing, is to pump in their funds. So if you have a good manuscript and you can bring it forward, these people would help you. They'll go part of the way with you. And what we've been able to do with our own publishing firm is also to encourage authors to bring in what they can. So it's not like you're going alone. But I think the key thing that has helped us now in promoting our poetry is spoken word poetry. So where you have people like one of the judges, Dike Chukwumerije, performing on stage, showing people that, yes, even when you're toasting somebody, you can turn it into words and put it in a book. People would realize that, okay, maybe if I want to become a better toaster, I can go and buy a poetry book, learn the lines. So that has also helped business to move small. But it's largely a thankless job, but it's getting better.
Okay, Sadiq and Romeo, we get a lot of authors having Nigerian printers or publishers, and then publishers abroad. Did you explore this, or you published in Nigeria and took abroad, or how did you do yours? I'll start with Sadiq.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different for us here. Um, I mean, people still do it in the ways that Sweden just explained, but my book was traditionally published, and I think Romeo's too traditionally published, which means a publisher, accept the book if they like it, and they're the ones who would fund everything. They would edit it. They would, I mean, in some cases, organize readings, do the publicity, send it, like all around. So like it's a little bit different. And I'm not like in the business side of poetry in terms of publishing and all of that, like Swede. So my knowledge about it is quite limited. I mean, after the NLNG, there are like some also Nigerian publishers that wanted to do like a Nigerian edition of my book. But it's in my case, like it's a little bit more complicated now because like some of the right is for the publisher because it's like they're the ones who are investing their money. So like I'm just receiving royalties and all of that. And sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, especially if you're also agented, which I am.
Okay.
Don't think that I'm making more money. It's just a different story.
Okay, Romeo, what's your own experience?
I think my own foray into publishing, it's been very different from Sadiq, and also I can say from Swady. I started writing on Facebook, so
Okay.
I had to know the online publishing thingy first, and I think my first chapbook was strictly an online chapbook, and it was published in Nigeria. And I think before practice went down, it had about 5,000, over 5,000 downloads. So it's quite different. But I think when I came to the US, like my first book here was published with the same publisher Sadiq's book um, was published with. I think both of us are like APBF kids, so to speak. But yeah, with Nomad, when I was working on the collection, I wanted it to be published in Nigeria first of all. I think with Sacramento bodies, the collections of the book were not available in Nigeria to be sold or for people to buy. And it really bothered me that much because I think unlike fiction or anything, I really believe that poetry belongs to the people that it's written for. And so
Oh,
when I wanted Nomad to be published after completing the collection, I sent it out to some Nigerian publishers, and Big Kind of Grout Lounge um, accepted the collection and published it in Nigeria. And I would say I think that the publishing scene for poetry is changing, just the way Swedy said. And I would also say that, like, for example, my process with Grout Lounge was as beautiful and as very rigorous and professional as any publication process or editing process I've also gone through in the US here. So I think it's changing. I think we'll get there.
okay. Thank you so much. Now, how did you feel when you heard that you were shortlisted? I'll go with you. You are with me here.
The thing is, I'm generally always doing stuff. On the particular day when it was announced, I was running to the bank because we had a book in press. I had just edited a collection. Our first lady in Benue State was having her 50th birthday, and we had a crazy schedule to deliver. So the money came in late. We had to rush to get the money to go to press. So by the time my wife called me to tell me, hey, this is happening, I was like, okay. And I had to run and continue everything.
Really?
So yes, it was raining. I had a deadline, and I had to be at press. So it was much later after I went for the birthday, delivered everything, and came back. I was like, oh, wait. I'm on this short list. Romeo is also on it, Sadiq, and then I started dancing. So it took some time for it to sink in,
To
but
sink
at that
in.
moment, for me, I think the time when I had my big moment was the long list.
Okay.
I had no idea in my wildest imaginations and stuff that my book would be on the long list.
Wow.
So on the particular day, it was a very tiring day. I had put my phone off. I didn't want to be the internet. I was just doing stuff. And then Obina Odenwe, who was on the short list last year, called me and said, "Hey, you're on the list, you're on the list." I'm like, "Which list?" "You're on the list." I was like, I put the phone off. Then I think my wife called or something. I can't remember what happened, but when it sank in, I broke down a bit and cried just a bit because there was that affirmation, just a bit. So several things were going wrong on that day. So I actually needed some light.
Like that.
I needed some light. And I was like, "God, are you sure you're up there? Are you sure you're up there?" So when it happened, I just told myself, okay, God is trying to use me
And
and
there
show
was
off.
light.
And there was light indeed.
Okay. Romeo, so how did you feel when you got the news? Let's get into that day when you got the news that you've been shortlisted.
I didn't put a shortlisting. I was actually driving. I was going to Kansas City for a burial ceremony. So I was on the road. I had no idea what was happening. Someone who I talk to every single time. I think we talk every day, Sadiq. And so I was driving. I was listening to music, and I started getting a lot of what's it called, notifications on my phone, and it was just blowing up. And so when I'm driving, most times my phone is on like silent, and there are only very few people that can get across to me, and one of them is Sadiq. And so he was come like once his call came in, and he said, "Oh, we're on the short list." And I'm like, "With who?" And he was like, "With Sweetie." I was like, "Holy fuck!" It's like I parked in a gas station and just took a very deep breath because I was driving, I think 90 miles per hour or so, and I was like, I don't want to cause an accident. I took a deep breath, and it dawned on me because I think one of the most beautiful thing about this short list, it's been with Sadiq and Swedi. When I was still finding my voice and trying to understand what poetry is for me, uh, Swedi was like the big brother who wanted me to be very well put together, and I was the younger brother who was always smoking and drinking and just writing poems and doing what the hell I want to do. And so I'd go to his house in Benway in Makodi. Sometimes I'd arrive there. I think I've arrived there one time about 2 a.m. in the morning and really had to leave his house to come get me at the park. And Sadiq too is someone who I think within the past 6 years has become someone very important to me. Not just only as a brother, but also as a fellow voice in the diaspora here, for example, where things can be lonely, things can be tough, and even writing sometimes, like the ability to still write and still continue pushing on can be very difficult.
Okay,
And
let's
so I
get
think
to.
it dawned on me that I was with these two
I want
people.
to.
And I'm
Okay, sorry to cut you in. Yeah, I want to also get Sadiq's reaction because I see him sharing the good news with Romeo. So, how did you react when you got the news that you've been shortlisted?
It was unexpected. I remember I was sleeping because I had a long day. I just moved to a new city to take up an assistant professor position in Starkville. So I was like still trying to get our stuff, and I had taught my first class, and so I was very tired. And in the morning, my dad called, and my it was a video call, and he said, "Oh, Swede is on the short list of the NLNG." And my response was like, "Wow." And he said, "Romeo is on the short list too." I'm like, "Wow, that's amazing." And I'm like, "Oh, who else?" And he's like, "Rayhan, your father is on the short list." I'm like, "Me?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Wow." And so I immediately cut off the call, and my wife had heard, and she was celebrating. And all of a sudden, I was overwhelmed with emotion. I had to take a long walk because I had heard the news, but what I heard was my child's name. I missed her so much, and that reminded me of how much. And I'm sorry because I'm tearing up right now. I um, I was grateful that like the world would celebrate her because for me, the book represent the the manifestation of her presence in the world. And so it was a feeling of immense sadness that she wasn't here, that the book had to be written at all. And it was also joy that the book is being celebrated, which means her life is being celebrated. But yeah, I'm still in shock, and I'm just trying to enjoy the moment and to be there with these two people. You know, like you
Yes.
have no idea how immensely gratifying that is, right? And also to be a good example to other younger writers like us, that like if you take the work that you do seriously, people would hear you and
Mm,
would celebrate you.
mm. Beautiful. Please let's applaud that. That is so touching. So if you have questions, just keep them handy because we'll throw the floor open for at least a question to each of the authors. But I want to ask this. LNG Prize for Literature. You are shortlisted now. What does this mean to you and also to writers of your generation? Yes, let's start with you. You're always here with me now.
Well, it's great to be on the list. Like I said, it's even far bigger to be on the list with these people who I've had this long walk with. More than just what it does for us as individuals, I think it's also a statement to people. When the last time I was in Makodi, I did an interview and I was on radio and I said, what this means for us as a state also is that our people can begin to aspire to this prize, because often when you see these prizes, there are certain names. There was a point where people were like, okay, maybe it's just rotating between the major ethnicities. So this year it's Hausa, then it's Igbo, then it's Yoruba. So there's a way now, this is not to say these writers are not incredible writers. I mean, Sojiko, Ikeogu, Abubakar Adam Ibrahim, who incidentally is from Kogi. But their writings were really good, but there's this perception that people got from it, and it made several people not to enter for these prizes. So to see that, okay, this person, this your Nyama Nyama Tea brother is on the list. This is somebody who you see every day. It makes it more relatable. But more importantly, I think it's also the thing about our ages. All of us, we belong to a certain age bracket. So it's something that has the whole literary world, I dare say, was shaken by the news. Several people were like, there's no way this one is going, it must go to one prof or this. But I mean, look at us here. So several younger writers are going to enter for this prize because they know now that, okay, it's not based on age, it's not based on qualification, it's not based on this and that and that. It can come in for anybody. You can be outside, you still be celebrated. You can be inside, you still be celebrated. So for me, the best part of it is just that it has made that statement that is going to encourage more writers and is going to give more writers hope. My only prayer is that most writers are not going to, because of this, start writing strictly for the prize, because that's where depression sets in.
Yeah. So, Sadiq, I want to ask the same question to you, but from the perspective of your generation of writers. Now, is this an encouragement or is a challenge?
Well, like we've been talking about this, and like Nigeria comes from like we are a people of great stories, and they've been really important poets for a very long time. But I think I'm grateful that finally, like the literary establishment is taking notice of what's happening among young people. I think we have really, really exciting voices, and this is a golden age of Nigerian poetry. We're just, like I feel lucky to be here, but I know that there are like 100 more, like out there, who are writing important work. And I think it's worthy of celebration. What I'm trying to say is that, like contemporary Nigerian poetry is flourishing, and it's a good time. And I want everybody to pay attention to all of the other voices that are out there writing exciting work. This is just the beginning, and I think this is also like a change of guard. I know some people are like a little bit anxious about it, but always, society always looks towards the future, right? And what happens. So this is adding to that conversation. Like there's not just a certain kind of voices in Nigerian poetry. There are also, the young people doing exciting work. And I think that's what this represents. And you can see with the reception, like a lot of people are happy about it because, Swede has been here for like forever. I mean, even Romeo has been writing for 8 years now. So it's not like all of these people are like really new to writing, but it's just that, like you rarely see, important prizes like this, recognizing the kind of important work that young people do. Because it's like we come from a society it's very difficult to be taken seriously, in Nigeria if you're young. So this is a breath of fresh air.
Okay, please let's put hands together for LNG for giving these prizes. Because for me, the shortlisted people, they are all winners as far as I'm concerned. And for that, we want to say thank you to Nigeria LNG for this opportunity. We've run out of time, but I wanted to give any of the students an opportunity to ask a question. We see some students, I don't know if any of them have any questions for them. You don't have any questions for them? Okay, on that note, we want to say thank you. Thank you to Sadiq. Thank you to Romeo for joining us virtually. And thank you, Vershima. Did I get it correctly now? Vershima, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. You've really inspired us and showed us that it's not just like that. It's beautiful. So if you're a poet out there, please venture into writing and publish your work. Who knows? You might be on the long list of LNG Prize for Literature. So thank you so much for being so attentive. We don't have time now, but I want to say thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Vershima. Chief Agema. I'll stick with Agema. So, we want to celebrate these three poets. Sadiq, we celebrate how far you've come. Couldn't have been easy losing a child, but to bring beauty out of the ashes, please a round of applause for Sadiq. For Romeo, I thought the poems would be all romantic since he answers Romeo. But, he's a Jakwando. So, Romeo, we celebrate you also. A round of applause for Romeo. And Chief Agema, I noticed you were emphasizing I cried small. My brother cry. It's okay. Men cry. If Arsenal wins the Champions League, I could cry. I've suffered a lot for that club. So, so cry if you have to cry. I celebrate you. Let's celebrate Vershima also. Wow. And I also celebrate the relationship you all have because, man, I was just wondering, we didn't grow up with, competitors like that. Number 1, 2, 3, do they have 2 heads? Why are you competing with them? Can't you be number 1? But to have 3 competitors have a close relationship is just amazing. A round of applause for them once again. All right. So now, I said we'll come back for round 2 of that quiz. So we have that round 2, prizes to be won. All right? And after that, we'll have the Bolo Bolo dance by the Active Playhouse. We're almost done. Okay? So you know what it means. We need your phones once again. All right? For those of you that won before, put your phones in your pocket. We don't need you. All right? So, do you have your phones? Are you ready? Please don't lose heart. Don't lose heart. You could win it. You could win it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Vershima, who knew that NEPA could inspire greatness? I heard you talk about NEPA and Olopas. My brother, who knew? Who knew? So, are we ready? Okay. Do you have your phones? Are you logged on? If you have logged on, please say yes. Who has logged on? Okay. So the code now is 77997061. 77997061. We have 4 questions in this round again. Have you logged in? If you have, just indicate by raising your hands. Have you logged in? Good. Yes. Are we good to go? We're not good to go? Could your network provider be? I will not mention any names. All right, so we have a full house. The wolf is no longer in the picture. Okay? Are we good? Are we good? Not yet. That's definitely, I know the network provider. I know. But I won't mention. Are we good? No? Which device are you using? Do we add device to the network provider? Are we ready? All right, let's go. So, let's have the questions, please. Let's have the questions, please. Answer fast to get more points. Which is the book genre for the 2022 Nigeria Prize for Literature? This is when they say come early to class. We will know the latecomers just from this. 5, 4, 3. Were you paying attention in class? Anybody that failed? Who failed this question? Oh, goodness. Oh, backbenchers. Okay. Question number 2. And do not allow wheels come from the bottom to the top. Hold your position, my dear. Hold your position. Question number 2 of 4. We go again. All right. That first question was easy. After a winner is announced, how much would the runners-up to the prize win? If the family members of the prize winners are here, you know. See 100,000. You did not read this question. Oh, goodness. Runners up want to win the main prize too. It's okay. A wolf has shown up again. And still at the bottom. People should not use this. And you're still topping. I support you. Graciano, I see you. Question number 3 or 4. You can make it. You can make it. I believe in you. Though I may not see you, I believe in you. All right. Select the odd book genre which is not considered for the Nigeria Prize for Literature. We will know some people today. We will know them. We will know them. 2. 1, if I see that answer there. Hey. And you are still at the top, I believe. You are still at the top. Good. You are doing me proud. You are doing me proud. The wolf is coming up. We have more wolves. Coming up. Final question. Okay. Who was the 2022 winner for the Nigeria Prize for Literature? This is a trick question. Wait. Who was the 2022 winner for the Nigeria Prize for Literature? Is it me? I was beginning to wonder now that. Who are you people answer? You are in the event and you answer those things. I don't know. This is why we fail jump. Anne! A round of applause for Anne. I see a celebration over there. Is Anne seated there? Oh, I think that you're just celebrating the fact that it's Anne that won it. Anne, where's Anne, please? Anne! Oh, a round of applause for Anne. Oh, goodness. Where's the second mic? Oh, please, do we have our prizes? Okay. Do you have the runner? Okay, you give me the list now. All right. Please, please, please. And to present this set of awards, please let me have my second mic back. We will have the founder of the Rainbow Book Club and the project director, Mrs. Kalango. Please do the honors with us. So we have Anne, Meg, right? And Mma, 3 women. My God, where did the men go? All the men just fell out. All right. And women's liberation, women's empowerment. Oh, wow. Wow. Please let us celebrate this. Child. Man, why? This is a good time to cry for men. Please, a round of applause for the first. Anne, please step forward. You are the first. You are the winner. A round of applause for her. Yes.
Congratulations, Anne.
Yes, LNG must show. LNG has to show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A round of applause as she returns to her seat. And then we have Meg. Oh, a round of applause, a round of applause. Though I'm not too happy that no man won, but we stand together. We celebrate the success of everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And finally, Mma, a round of applause for her also. All these gifts brought to you by NLNG. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you, Mrs. Kalango, for doing us the honors. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A round of applause for everyone that communicated. And for those of you that answered that last question, when we are in the event, they say, who is the winner? He still went to, oh God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, if we will need sound for the next sets of people coming up on stage, please, I hope it's sorted. We'll have the Bolo Bolo dance by the Active Playhouse. They also brought the Black Gold poetry to us earlier on at this event. It was a wonderful piece. For those of you that missed it, it's a good thing you're here to witness this one. So, without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to the Active Playhouse as they present the dance drama Bolo Bolo. A round of applause for them, please.
The title of our dance drama is Bolo Bolo, the beginning. Ebitare, Mother Earth has been relegated to the background. Her voice silenced. Her power ignored. And yet she carries the problem of the world on her shoulders. Who can relate to pain? Has that one tasted beauty? The feeder is now being fed. But mother would always be mother. And so we celebrate you, Ebitare, for you are indeed a virtuous woman. Isn't she beautiful? A work of art created by the Creator himself on the last day before he rested. A bearable. One who even the sun smiles at. A bitare. One whose love spreads across the Niger Delta. Indeed, you are beautiful. But the men would argue. A bitare.
We celebrate you, our mother.
round of applause for them once again. The Active Playhouse. Musicians, actors, actresses, dancers, all in one. And I'd like to call on the founder director of the Active Playhouse, Dan Kodo, for a brief remark on this beautiful piece. A round of applause for Dan Kodo. I know he was not really expecting it. Please, Dan Kodo, please join us on stage. A round of applause. Please come on. No. A round of applause for him.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to perform. Thank you, ma. God bless you. Thank you.
Very humble man, very humble man. You go to some occasions and somebody says, I just want to briefly say, and we are there for 15 minutes, but you see, he just quickly, thank you so much for those wonderful pieces, Black, Gold, and also the Bolo Bolo dance. We've come to, don't worry, we are almost done. And Sadiq, I remember you said, one thing that touches your heart, that you are far from home, the food. We are eating and you're not here. Well, they are about to eat the real food later on. So at this point, we'll just like to welcome on stage for the closing remarks before we have the order of photographs and the vote of thanks. The General Manager, External Relations and Sustainable Development, Mr. Andy O'Day, aka The Wolf. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you so much, sir, for supporting this award.
Thank you very much. So yes, I was the wolf that exited after I got the first question wrong. And the reason is obvious. What if I kept getting it wrong? You'll agree with me, it's been an exciting mid-afternoon, early evening. I know when we're recognizing and appreciating those who came in here today, no one mentioned our young boys and girls from secondary schools within Port Harcourt. So wherever they are, please raise their hands so we can say a big appreciation to you. Indeed, this is about you, because listening to the writers this afternoon, it was obvious that for them, and like for all of you, it's an opportunity. It means that for those who are on our own side, whose times have come and almost going, the kind of opportunity those in our age group used to have, we don't have it anymore. So it's a new generation, and looking forward to poets and writers from amongst those of you who came in today. So I have a speech. Unfortunately, I will not read from the speech because so many things have happened. I want to touch on the things that have happened today. First, to really appreciate Mrs. Kalango for such exciting time that she'll be able to help us to partner with to have this afternoon. So a very big thank you to you. Interestingly, 18 years ago was the first time we brought writers to Port Harcourt. Someone whispered to me, one of my colleagues, when we did the long list of 11 in Lagos, when we had the book reading in Lagos, Coco was there, and we said, look, we can't be doing this good stuff in Lagos. We are in Port Harcourt. So it was agreed that we'll bring the book reading back into Port Harcourt after 18 years. So I say a big thank you to Coco again and to my colleagues for making it possible. 18 years is a long time, but it's also a very short time, depending what you do in between. But a lot has happened. The last 18 years, we've had entries, about 2,000 entries for the prize for literature. 2,000 entries. And I think of the 2,000, we'll have had 13, am I correct? 13 winners only. Running through the genre of literature, prose fiction, drama, children's literature, prose fiction, drama, and today poetry. What it means is that for us as an organization, excellence is key, is not just about the numbers or the effort, but those whose works have been found to be, in terms of structure, content, And indeed, the quality of production, where the judges look at these works and they say, look, you know what, we have entries that have won. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't have winners, and I'm sure the quiz that we had also showed that for the entries, sometimes you don't get winners, not because we want to keep the money back, but because quality and excellence is key. The writers we eventually identify and awarded the $100,000 in the past can compete, their works can compete or be recognized anywhere in the world. We do other things apart from literature and science and literary criticism. I'm sure you've heard recently that we are also supporting 6 universities, university teaching hospitals in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. We're helping to equip these schools in areas where they've identified opportunity and need. Apart from that, that is called the hospital support program. Before that, we did the investor support program where, again, in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, we identified opportunities to support engineering labs, build, equip, and support learning in those schools for research. Nigeria LNG remains committed to the prizes. We will not back out. But I want to touch on something that is happening between us, the public, and of course, sometimes the prizes are referred to the LNG prize. Some say it's a Nigeria prize, while some just say the prizes. The title of a prize is the prize for literature, the prize for science, and the prize for literary criticism. They are all known as the Nigeria prize. The Nigeria prize for science, the Nigeria prize for literature, and the Nigeria prize for literary criticism. And the reason why we do that is, at the end of the day, is to identify, reward, encourage excellence and innovation in the areas that we support. So the prize does not, or the prizes don't belong to Nigeria LNG. Nigeria LNG supports the Nigeria prize. And in doing that, we have partnered with so many groups, organizations across the country to bring you the prizes. I'd like to end by saying that it's been a pleasure to have you this afternoon, going into this evening. On the 14th of October, 2022, in Lagos, maybe about this time, maybe a little later than this time, there was an announcement to the entire world between the 3 friends, whether they are driving in an aircraft, in a motor park, or it's raining and you are between the bar and your office, wherever you are, between Sadiq, Doshima, and Romeo. I thought we have Juliet. Shima, Doshima is a female, right? You have a twin sister? No. So between these 3 young men, there'll be a winner. We hope. We don't determine in LNG or Rainbow Book Club who wins or whether there'll be a winner or not. But listening to the adventures and the feelings and thoughts behind the works that we've heard about today, we pray that there's a winner. And on that note, I'll say, I wish you guys all the best. And for those of us who are learning to write, looking forward to more works coming from all of us here today, to say a very good evening and thank you very much for coming for the event today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You know, when you just stand in front of a lectern, you just feel a bit more special. It's different from standing at the corner. So before we have the vote of thanks, I'd just like to quickly recognize certain people here. I'd like to recognize the presence of Professor Biriken Madwako, Chairman, Reading Association of Nigeria. Thank you, Ma. I'd like to also recognize the presence of Professor Helen Okujago, Chairman, English Language Teachers Association, also here. Thank you for being here with us. I'd like to recognize the presence of Professor Priye Iyala Amadi, National Director, am I right? Readers Association of Nigeria, right? Thank you so much, Ma. Please, I was battling with the handwriting. Please bear with me. I'd like to also recognize the presence of David Chukwueke, the curator of Nigerian Literary Society, also present with us. Thank you so much. I'd like to recognize the presence of Chief Adewale, Chairman Association of Nigeria. Authors. Apologies, sir. The handwriting is doing things to my eyes. We are doing our best. Thank you for being with us, sir. At this point, I'll just quickly welcome Kenneth Kalio for the vote of thanks, and after that, we'll have the order of photographs. I'll read that out briefly when the time comes. A round of applause for Kenneth Kalio from the Rainbow Book Club for the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Before I say thank you, I want to say a special thank you to you, sir. While you were thanking all of us for being here and doing our own beats, I want to say thank you to you for working with us to do this in Port Harcourt once again. It's been a long time. Such a delight to see, members of the Literary and Arts Society gather. It's very exciting. And I'm happy to say that we would like for you, NLNG, as you said from your advert here, our numbers count, but the people count more. We would like for us to count a lot more to you. Bring this more back here, please. Thank you. I want to thank everybody here for honoring the invitation to be a part of this. We really, really do appreciate having you here. It's fun to have you out once again. It's a great event out today, and we want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Kenneth. I like the way you just quickly put in that application. Smartly, my brother, to come back here. It's necessary. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we'll have the order of photographs, all right? So I'll just call out certain people for the pictures in a particular order, and then after that, we proceed to that food. All right, so please, let's just have the General Manager, Mr. Andy Ode, and Mrs. Kalango come forward for the first set of photographs, please. The photographers are ready, so we'll just have the General Manager, External Relations and Sustainable Development. And then after that, we'll have Karina Igonikon and my chairman, Veshima, together. So please get ready. All right? They should come together. Okay. Okay. Please, Veshima, Karina. Okay. Okay, please, Veshima, join us on stage. Agema, I'll stick with Agema. Mrs. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so there's this discussion going on here. Can we have Sadiq and Romeo on screen? Well, it's kind of going to be a Zoom photograph. Can we have that? Okay. All right. It's coming up. Okay. The schools present. How many schools are here? Okay. All right. So can we have okay. Can we have the schools present just come forward and take a picture with Mrs. Kalango, Mr. Andy? All right. Please, will the teachers assist the students come forward? Students from Ignatius Ajuru University. Please, can we have the teachers present, just assist. Okay, so the university students, just hold on. I'll come to that later. Let's have just the secondary school students, okay? And then when we are done, we'll have the associations present. Okay? Association of Nigerian Authors, please get ready. Association of Nigerian Authors, please get ready. All right, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so after this, we'll have the NLNG leadership team present. Okay. Please, NLNG leadership team present. Okay. All right. Okay. Once the students return to their seats, we'll have the NLNG leadership team. All right. After the NLNG leadership team and staff, will have the associations. Okay. Okay. All NLNG staff present, please. All NLNG staff present. All NLNG staff present. We can have some light music in the background while we have these photographs, okay? We're not mourning, eh? Okay, thank you, thank you. So we have the associations. Association of Nigerian Authors, please. Okay, please. We'll just do it quickly. Readers Association of Nigeria, please get ready. Except you belong in both associations. Readers Association of Nigeria, please get ready. All right, thank you. RAN, Readers Association of Nigeria. Readers Association of Nigeria. That you also wow.
It's Kelpie vibes.
English Teachers Association of Nigeria, get ready. Except you are already in both associations on stage. You're already AWAP. Association of Associations. Okay.
highlifeng.com.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so as they return to their seats, we're done. Thank you. For the food, we'll start with table 3. This is table 3, and then we go to table 1, and we'll give you, the ushers will assist me with this, all right? So, sir and madam, when you're ready. Okay, so over to the ushers, please. Thank you. Please, everyone remain seated till they come to your table. Okay. Serious? Please, when you're done eating, you can still go to the red carpet, share your thoughts, take pictures. All right. So if table 3 isn't ready, are they ready? You're ready, okay. After table 3, we have table 1. Table 3, table 1, 2, and 4.
highlifeng.com.
It's Kelpie vibes. Zlatan. If I receive.
Yeah, I'm killing them shot. Because I swear God, if I go kill them back. Rah, we go to win them like that. Oh, God, make a no be a belly jack. Make you know the kula. Jala mi jala. Betty money, na. Money alone. We making money rush like Indomie. Suppose that's your watch, my lordy. Baby, show my Giuseppe's a naughty. See, I'm killing them shot. Because I swear swear God, if I go kill them back. Rap, we go to win them like that. We go to like that. Oh, God, boy, make a no be a belly jack. You are not a fella, so what's your excuse? It is better there's nothing you can do. Oh, yeah, guess if anything, if I coffee, pile, mo wale the other of my son. Oh, yeah, ude. Zlatani, pile, bonale, wale. One more, pule for one of me, share, walk me, I'm getting this move for free. Oh, yeah, hallelujah. Rabbit, let us say, bit suya. Mayakoya, let it be a bima. A book on a solid god, and I see ya. Lots of photo. But you want to manage the body book. Marry to park where you couldn't move back to my best. I could only money shaku. See, I'm killing them shaku. Because I swear God,